Welcome back to another Handyman Land video. Today's video, I have 3 WEN tools that I just purchased and I've been waiting to open these boxes. Let's head on over to the workshop. And here are our 3 products. 8.5 amp biscuit joiner, 3 1/4 inch electric planer, variable speed metal sheather. Also, this is not a sponsor video. I purchased these tools with my own money. And at the description at the bottom, I'll leave a timeline just in case if this is the product you want to see and not these two. But I'm going to start off with the planer. Now, I've been quite some time wanting to get one of these. I almost went with a Makita, but I already purchased a WEN product and I was very happy with it. So that's why I ended up purchasing more WEN product, because I've been wanting to try out more of their products since I was so happy and pleased with the first one. Okay, they really take this up. I can't even get it open. There we go. Okay, so first things first, we have some instructions. Bracket, we'll find out what's that for exactly. Our dust collector. It's pretty big. Okay, let's just get everything out of the box and then we'll talk about it. It's pretty heavy. It doesn't seem cheap. Okay, that's all that's in the box. And just so you know, this is model 6530. Here we have our rabbiting depth stop, our dust bag, our parallel guide fence. At the bottom there's a wing nut. And here we have a short router. On the top of our planer we have our clip extension glide. On the top is our depth adjustment knob, depth adjustment guide, our lock knob, adjustment front shoe. Our handle has a nice rubber grip there. Our trigger switch, on and off switch. On the back side here is where you store your blade ratchet. Fixed rear shoe, chip extraction ports, our drive belt cover, and in front of your belt cover is your parallel guide lock knob. And here in the back is a safety feature. That's your kickstand. And the tool comes with a 6-foot cord. Nice. And on the top here we have our chip extraction guide switch. And how this works is you take your bag, place it in, lock it in place. And if this is the side that you're using your bag, or if you want to use that side, then you swap it over to the opposite side. If you see here on your bag, there's a little notch. And here there's a little notch. You just meet those up. That's how you get your bag in. I like that feature because if you're left-handed like me, most tools that I always run into, they're right-handed tools. So that swapping the bag on either side is a thumbs up for me. And if you see here, it comes set to 0 and your maximum cutting depth is 1/8. And when you're turning your depth adjustment knob, what's moving is not your blade, it's your front shoe. And if you see your shoe here, when I turn, that's as far as it goes. And when I set my square to my rear shoe, you can clearly see that that is 1/8 of an inch. And what your ratchet is for is to, you see here all the nuts, is so you can replace your blade. So you have 1, 2, 3 of them. And what our little kickstand is for is to ensure that your blade is never touching any surface, to prevent your blade from being damaged. Now for this locking knob here, that is for our depth stop. As you can see, it gives you up to 1 inch. So what we do is remove this wing nut. Like so. And if you're trying to remove 1/4 of an inch, you can raise it up and down to get to that mark. And if you look carefully right there, that's your mark. That's what you go by. So there we have it set for 1/4 of an inch. You just have to be careful that it's flush against that as well, because you see right there, it's a little off. So you want to make sure that you have it nice and flush, and that's your mark there. Right there. Now, I really won't go off that guide. I will prefer that you get a kit like this. You can place it there and you'll get an exact measurement of your 1/4 inch or whatever the height is that you're trying to go for. This kit here, I think I paid about 40 bucks for it. But when you're dealing with tools, when you have to make those type of adjustments, this is the type of equipment that you should purchase. It'll help you to be more accurate. I'll leave a link in the description of this exact kit that I had purchased. Now our guide fence connects on the opposite side. Let's take this wing nut off. Okay. I'm not sure if you can see that. It has the same shape as your guide rail there. Let's connect it first. As you can see, our guide rail's connected, and with this wing nut here, you can adjust it. You can see here, that's our 2-inch mark, 1 inch, and our half. Set it to 2-inch. Tighten your wing nut at the bottom. Now I have my 2x4 here just to kind of give you an idea of what the depth stop and guide gauge actually does. So what it is let's just say you want to take off, this is just an example, if you want to take off only half of one side of the board. So you have it set there. Let me get it closer here so you can see better. So you set this one to the in or out, and your depth stop up or down. So if you want to take off 1/4 of an inch on this side, then you continue planing and running your tool until this side meets with your depth stop. So I hope that I explained that. That's probably the best way I could explain it. But yeah, you're just cutting one side of your board, and your depth stop is what helps you stop when you need to stop. Now the guide fence, what I don't like is it only mounts to one side, and it's kind of flimsy if you look at that. So that can probably throw off your cuts, but I didn't purchase the tool for this. Why I purchased the tool for is because around in the spring, I'm about to do a 10 by 30 deck. And the deck boards aren't all going to be great or in great condition. Some are going to be a little warped. And with this planker, I heard for the price, it works great. And I'm also going to be testing this on my picnic tables. As time went by, the picnic tables actually moved upward. It's not a flat surface anymore. So we're going to test this tool today. Another cool feature that I like is that our dust bag actually has a weight on it. That's the first time I've seen that. I'm going to set my tool to 1/16. Right there. And I don't know if you can see that. That looks like 1/16 to me. And here's my picnic table. As you can see, it's not flushed anymore. I had put a screw in there some time back to prevent it from getting any worse. But I got to it too late. So let's try to fix this. Get a nice flat surface. As you can see, I have it set facing where my dust bag is at. Here's your trigger and your safety. Press in. So if you don't press your safety, there's nothing you can do. It won't turn on. Press inward. All right, let's try out this tool. Start out back here. Let's get this out the way. Let's brush some of this off so we can see where we at. Look at that. Awesome. That is, I'm amazed. I really am. It's really nice and smooth. I'm very happy. I'm very impressed. I'm more impressed because I only paid 40 bucks for the tool. That's pretty cool. As for the dust bag, let's see how much it actually... Okay. You can come out now. Okay. The bag is full. Okay, so here, let's slide this out. And look at that. It's full. So I guess it just couldn't collect anymore. I can tell you this now. I wish it opened up a little bit more so it'd be more easier. There you go. You just had to be a little more tough with it. Nice. Now let's try the depth stop and guide fence. So what I did is I just screwed in my 2x4 to the picnic table. And let's also do this test without the dust bag. Nice. Awesome. Look at that. That impressed me because I really thought it was gonna go crooked or something on me. And I don't know if you can see that. Look at that. There you go. Out of focus there. It looks good. I like it. It did get a little funny when it hit this knot here, but that's understandable. That was impressive. It really was. I almost forgot to show you one more feature. You see the center of your shoe? That groove right there? Let's just say you have a sharp edge. You want to remove that edge. Place your tool like so. And you take that edge right off. Another thing is that you can only plane with the grain of the wood. So you can go this way, flip it this way, you can go this way like you saw me do, but you cannot go this way, only with the grain of the wood. Okay, so that's about it for this tool. That's my unboxing and short review video. The WEN 3/4 electric planer model 6530. Give you a little tour here. There's our 2x4. Nice. So what I think about it, 2 thumbs up. For 40 bucks, it's a steal. It really is. Next tool on our list. Variable speed metal shear. Okay. Our paperwork. This in here. An Allen key. And nothing else. Just looking at this, it reminds me of one of my very old drills. It was an old Black & Decker drill that I used to have. That's what this whole area reminds me of. Okay, let's see. It comes with a little mouthpiece here. I can see me losing that because it doesn't snap on. Okay. Now, straight out the box, I could tell you this, it seems very husky and it's heavy. So if you're doing a lot of work with this, I can see your hand getting tired. Well, your wrist getting tired. And our handle has no rubber grip. It's just plastic. Let's talk about the tool. So, like I said earlier, blade cover, I'll lose that because there is no locking mechanism for that. Here's a closer look of our blade. There you go. Our power trigger, our power lock. So how this works is you pull your power trigger in, and your power lock and your trigger stays inward. So I guess you don't get tired of holding the trigger. I assume that's what it's for. And then you press your power trigger again and it unlocks. And my understanding is this is a pressure switch. So as you apply pressure, that is the performance of the tool. So if you press it all the way inward, then you're going to get the highest performance that the tool can give. This tool has a 4 amp motor, can also cut 14 gauge sheet metal and 20 gauge stainless steel. You can do up to a 3-degree cutting radius with this tool. Now, it says you can rotate the head 360 degrees. And to do that, we have to remove loosen the 3 hex screws. So let's loosen them. Okay. Okay, it says just loosen them, don't remove them. After all three are loosened, we should be able to rotate our shears. Okay, let's just remove it. I assume it just comes right out. Yep. There you go. So that's how it works. You can see in there. So as this part spins, it's not perfect. It goes up and down. And that's basically, as it's spinning, it's kind of giving this type of motion. And that's how our blade cuts our metal. Nice. And that's why we need to loosen the hex screws, because how it holds on is basically just the pressure. Because there is no groove anywhere. And that's why you're able to spin this all the way around. My advice is, if you do loosen these, make sure they're nice and tight. Like I said, I don't see anything else holding that but just the pressure of these hex screws, applying pressure downward. So make sure that you tighten your hex screws all the way. And another note is, I know usually we toss these manuals out, but for this one, I say hold on to it because there are a lot of components. And if anything ever happens to the tool, at least you have some type of idea what it might be. Okay, and in the manual, it says absolutely nothing about this groove here. So I look at that and I think it's for you to probably, if you're on a ladder, you put it in your back pocket or on your belt. But I don't recommend that. So the reason why I say I don't recommend that is because, just think about it. This trigger, there is no safety feature. The only thing there is when the trigger's pulled in all the way, you can lock it in that position, right? But there is no safety feature anywhere to prevent you from accidentally pulling that trigger. So for this groove here, just think about it. You put that in your back pocket, you're on a ladder. What you're gonna do, you're gonna grab onto the handle and hopefully you don't pull that trigger, because do you really want this shear to get you in your leg or in your booty? I don't think so. I don't recommend for you to use this feature there, because I could just see that as an injury. Maybe there. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe there where the shear is facing that way and you grab your, I don't know. It's kind of scary because you can't lock that trigger in place. Just definitely don't put it in your back pocket, because you're going to end up clipping your booty or something with that. I don't know. That one got me. Now, as a safety, this don't have much safety. You just have to be cautious when you're using this. You need to be paying attention, because if you're on a ladder, this side's plugged in. I mean, what you're gonna do? Put it in your back pocket and then tell somebody you can plug it in now? No, it doesn't work like that. You got to be very cautious when you're using this tool. Pay attention, because you can injure yourself. I'm pretty sure this tool can cut. I guarantee this tool's gonna cut good, but you just don't want it to cut you. That's the goal, is that you want to do, is don't let this tool injure you. Okay, it's a little late now. and I've been here all day. So we're going to continue this one tomorrow, but for you, it would just be within a few seconds. Because as you can see, it is pitch black out there. And I'm going to tomorrow morning get up and look for some metal to cut. And let's see this tool in action. Good morning. Going to see if I can find some of this metal. So I have that piece of sheet up there. I know I have a roll of coil somewhere, but I don't see it. I'm gonna just check in the greenhouse, see if I see something in there, because our greenhouse is not used as the greenhouse. The wife wanted a greenhouse and it ended up becoming a storage unit. So I don't see nothing in here either. So we'll just use what we have. And just so you can see here, when I made this cut here, it was with a grinding wheel. And as you can see, it's not perfect. So I would like to see if this tool will make it nice and a nice straight line. And I'm curious how it would work going up and down, up and down. Would it make a nice straight line, or the tool just can't do that type of work? It's cold in here. I should have turned on the heater earlier. Another thing, as I was wrapping things up last night, there was another thing about this tool that I didn't like. Let's just say if you have this tool with you at the job site and you need to change your tool at 360 degrees. WEN does provide you the Allen key, but your tool has nowhere to attach the Allen key. Usually a tool will have some type of storage spot for your key, but this tool doesn't. Some tools I notice as well, if it doesn't have a spot to attach it to the tool, at least you can be able to attach it to your cord in some way. You can snap it on or push it in, but this doesn't have that. Okay, so I made a line here. I'm gonna try to follow that line. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. I have my piece clamped on both ends, gloves on, so I'm not sure what to expect here. Let's power our tool. Yeah, so that's why I say, I don't know what this is for, but don't put it in your back pocket. You pull it out, and it is a pressure trigger. Let me see, get close to the camera. You can see I'm slightly pressing the button. I mean the switch. See that? So I like that. That's pretty cool. Okay. Try it again. Okay, so let's talk about that. Well, if you can see that it did make the cut, but I struggled. It's not meant for these type of metal roofing. The tool is really meant for straight cuts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make just a straight cut. And I want to just show you that pressure switch again, because I'm not sure if I caught it good on the first shot, but if you can see, So I like that feature. I'm pretty sure as you play with the tool more and more, you'll get better and better at it. But definitely the tool is not meant for these type of metal roofing. I did manage to make the cut, but let's just say if you're doing an entire roof, it's going to take you some time and you're not going to get it perfectly straight. Because when you're going up and down, I noticed I was rearing off to the sides, and yeah. For this one, I'm not going to draw a line. I'm just going to try to go straight. Let's see how it works. Okay. Finish taking that off. As you can see, when you do straight cuts, the tool works nicely. So the tool has a lot of power. It really does. I like the tool. It's not bad at all, especially for the price. I wish I had more types of metal to cut here, but I don't. But I definitely see this working for doing straight cuts on flat metal. My advice is when you're handling the tool, just grab it from here until you're ready to use it. Try not to grab it from here if it's plugged in, because you're gonna turn it on. Yeah, so you just want to grab it from around here. In case you were wondering, it does come with a 6-foot cord as well. Now for my likes and dislikes. For my likes, I like the power of the tool. I do like that it is a pressure trigger. I like that you can rotate the head of your tool to suit you for the job that you're doing. Now for my dislikes. Blade cover does not attach to the tool. It just fits right over, and I know definitely I will lose that. I can also see that coming off in the work bag. So I might as well just toss it out now because I'm going to lose it. I don't like that there's nowhere to store your Allen key. So just whatever work bag you're using for this tool, just make sure you keep it in there. I dislike that it's a smooth handle. It has no texture, no grip at all. And I really dislike that there is absolutely no way to lock your trigger until you're ready to use the tool. On my channel, you'll definitely see more of this tool. I do have some other projects in mind where I can see that this tool will be good for. But the tool is designed only to cut flat, straight metal. Okay, moment of truth. This is the one that I wanted to open up to begin with. I left it for the end. Our biscuit joiner. Okay, comes in a case. Nothing else in there. Okay, comes in a plastic case here. Okay, let's take everything out. Nice. Comes with some biscuits. Different size. We have a 0. Okay, we have a few here. 0, 10, and number 20. Your manual and our tool and our dust collecting bag and a piece of cardboard. Now our dust bag, I'm a little disappointed because it's a very small bag. Wish it was a little bit bigger, but if I'm using this in the shop, I'll most likely keep that off and just connect the shop vac to this end. So you can see this end has the groove, connects right there. It has like a, to keep it on a flat surface. I like that it came with a few biscuits as well. I didn't know that the tool came with that, and I had purchased this one. This is a bag of the number 10. I paid $5 for 100. It also comes with a spanner wrench, a plastic handle, and this handle is all rubber. This is all rubber here. Our trigger. This trigger has a safety feature because you cannot press it unless you pull down on this, and now you can use the tool. I like that. And on both sides you have a carbon brush cover. And here we have an angle ruler and an angle adjusting knob. Here we have our spindle lock button, and that's, I assume, to change the blade. Here we have our height fence, our height adjustment locking knob. Now, if you can see this Phillip head bolt here, that's called your depth stop bolt. So I'm assuming from the factory that already comes calibrated. So for now, leave that alone. Because on this side is your depth adjustment dial. As an example, let's say you want to use your number 0 biscuit. This arrow here indicates that you're set to number 0. So as you're using your tool, you will stop exactly on the 0 mark. And if you want to use your number 20 biscuit, then you tune it to number 20, and it's a different depth. That's why I say it should already come calibrated from the factory, so don't play with that unless you see something's wrong. Now they're calling this your angle fence. And that all moves when you want to adjust your settings. On the bottom here, we have our base plate. Let's remove that. And your base plate screws come with some O-rings. And this is a nice thick base plate. You see there? Yeah. And to change the blade, you just press down on your spindle button. You kind of feel when it locks in place. So it's already locked there. Take your fancy tool that they provide you. You can remove your blade. But we're not going to do that because the blade's brand new. There's no need for that. We're going to reuse this 2x4 that we were using with the planer. I'm going to go ahead and cut this right down the middle. I have my 2 pieces now, so I'm thinking of connecting them like this. And this is just for testing purpose only. I'm not going to make anything out of this. So I'm going to try to clamp this piece down make some marks on my table so I know where to put this one when it's up next. But had I been making something and I needed to do some biscuits, I'll probably create some type of jig for it. I have my piece now clamped down. I marked where I want my biscuits to go. We need to line it up from here to there. I adjusted the height. Okay. Now I did notice this. There's a little play there. I don't know if that's gonna affect it in any way. I was looking online and somebody had complained about it, that it's very smoky when you use it. I don't know what they meant by that, but we'll find out. Okay, I have it lined up. Okay, got our next piece of wood here. So far, so good. Now for the next cut, I made a mark in the center, and I'm going to try to make our cut in the center here. Now I'm not sure if you can see this. It's an arrow facing downward. And we're going to set this to 1.25 inches. And now without clamping it down, I'm going to try to make my marks. Okay. Right there. Oh. We need power. It'll work if we plug it in. Let's do that again. Okay. Okay. As for the person that said it was smoky, I smell what they're talking about now. It's just basically the wood. If you look inside, you can see it's kind of like the wood looks a little burnt. Here's our other piece. Is it the quality of the blade? I don't know. This is the first biscuit joiner I've ever purchased. If you own a different type of biscuit joiner and you don't see this type of problem, leave me a comment. I'm curious. But it cuts. Let's place our number 10s in here. Okay. Okay, without no glue, let's do a dry fit. I'm just curious. Nice. Okay. And it gives you play because you can go up and down. Looks good. The lines line up. And of course, it's not a tight seam. It's a 2x4. We're not making furniture right now. Now let's glue our pieces together here. Got our glue bot. And supposedly, when you put the biscuits in, they start to swell, if I understand. So they say have a mallet ready. Or not swell, expand. Okay, cool. And we got our piece clamped. And our cable length is 76 inches, so a little bit longer than the other tools. As for the dust bag, it did a great job. The tool just spits all that right into the bag because I have no sawdust anywhere. Now for likes and dislikes, mostly likes. It's a very powerful tool. I was a little skeptical at first because of the bag, how small it was, but everything just shot right in there. I only made a few cuts, but I can see that if I hook up a shop vac to this, I'm not going to have a dust storm in shop. I like the adjustments. I was a little iffy when I saw it like shake side to side, but that didn't affect the performance of the tool at all. I like that it does come with its own hard case, but I don't like the latching system. It seems flimsy, it's plastic. I think eventually that'll break. If you compare it with this latching system, this is gonna last you a long time. But as for this, could have been better. And if you look at where these two pieces connect, there's no real hinge. It's just a thin piece of plastic. Just plastic. As for a hard case like this, it actually has a hinge with a metal rod that holds them together. But we got to keep in mind that the tool, I only paid $50 for this. At least it did come with some type of case. And those are ways that probably WEN keeps their prices down. But as for the tool, I love it. 2 thumbs up. Well, there you have it. That's my unboxing and tool review on these 3 products. Perhaps you were in the market and you were curious about how these tools look and perform, and hopefully this video helps you decide whether you want to make this purchase. This is not a sponsored video. I purchased this with my own money, but I am Amazon affiliated. If you make a purchase through the link I provide at the bottom, I get a small kickback at absolutely no cost to you. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another Handyman Land video. Today's video, I have 3. It's 2 fingers. 3, 2, 1. What I purchased the tool for is when should I even say the story? I don't know. What's that? So, if you stood to the very end, and you're gonna hear a story. I almost died when the night that I finished filming and I said to be continued for the next day, when I stepped out that door. I was done. I cleaned up. I did a few things. I was done for the day. And I walked out that door. I closed the door. Usually I have my headlamp with me. I didn't have my headlamp with me. I didn't have my pistol with me. And when I walked out that door, I took literally about 3 steps, and I wasn't paying attention to my surroundings. There was a buck, at least over 300-pound buck, standing in front of my face. The thing was so close I could have puckered up and kissed it. That's how close it was to me. And I froze, the buck froze, we were both like stuck, like, oh shit, I didn't expect to see this person here. And so all I did was I stepped back so I could get some footing. So I didn't know if this huge creature was going to tackle me. And I'm kind of sizing it up because what can I do? I didn't have my pistol with me. I didn't even have a light with me. It was dark, but it was enough moonlight that you could actually see that we're standing in front of each other. So I kind of sized this creature up to, I didn't know what I was going to do. Grab its antlers if it came at me. That was the only thing I could do. It was still going to stomp the crap out of me if it wanted to. So we were just stuck staring at each other, and the only thing I could think of, I mean, it probably was seconds. It felt like minutes of us just staring at each other. So I just reached and was going to like grab it, then I changed my mind and I just yelled out real loud to try to make myself look bigger than what I actually am. And it took off running. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, that's it. I need to put some motion sensing lights out there for that not to happen again. The thing is that I have the freaking thing in a box and I haven't even bothered putting it up yet. And I need to leave my headlamps here, 1 or 2, and stop leaving them in the house and have them charge like that because what would have happened? I don't know. Does somebody know? Would have it charged at me? I don't know. It was stuck. Like if I was the headlights of a car, because it was just staring at me. I don't know. That was just crazy. Why are you quiet in the corner over there? You don't want your voice to be heard? Anyway, well, if you stood to the very end, you got to hear the little story, and you got to see when we just finished cleaning up the table and put the 3 WEN tools away, and you're getting a sneak peek of what's the next one. This is the 10-inch drill press. So, well, if you stood to the very end, then you're obviously a fan of the Handyman Land channel. I appreciate you, and thank you for watching, and subscribe and share to your friends. You have a good one. You can turn that camera off now.